Reddit, what's some of your cringiest high school stories? Another time I made a Harry Potter rap video on YouTube and shared it with people in my school. It got sent around and a ton of teachers watched it in class. Unfortunately for them it was NSFW. Obligatory as this was middle school. But I'm still kept up at night by this. I sent 2 girls "will you go out with me" messages over the phone at the same time. And they were next to each other. I live in a hot tropical country, but I was fat, so I tried covering it up by wearing a XXL DC hoodie everywhere I went. Even under the hot sun, people would ask me why I wore a jacket. I'd say I felt cold even though I was sweating visibly. Everybody knew why. I know that now. Completely dead silent class. I ripped a loud fart. I tried to play it off by saying that my mouth made the noise. Tried to emulate the actual fart with pretend farts for about 30 seconds. After each pretend fart, I'd say, "No, that wasn't it. Let me try again." All while sweating nervously and shaking. AII freshman year of high school duckin' kill me. I was bullied a lot in junior high by jocks. One of them sat behind me in class and kept trying to slide things down the back of my pants. Finally I snapped during study time, turned around and shouted, "No, I won't go out with you. I keep telling you I'm not gay. Why don't you date a girl or something?" Jesus Christ. I got in trouble for swearing. The words gay and Jesus Christ were swear words in 1982 Virginia, and the jock beat the it out of me after school. Later in college, he came out as gay, though. Surprisingly I didn't have many, but one from freshman year sticks out. I was really good friends with this kid Andy. We had sort of a friend group, but he and I were particularly close. Everyone used to ask all the time if we were a couple. I really liked Andy, but he wanted to just be friends. Cool, no problem. So it comes time for the homecoming dance and I had talked to most people in my friend group about asking Andy. Everyone agreed it'd be fine because we're super close and he would obviously say yes. So after school one day I go meet this friend group where we normally met. At this point, I had truly, madly, deeply convinced myself that Andy would definitely say yes. So I ask him in front of all of our friends if he wants to go with me. Andy just kinda shrugs and goes, "Nah." So I'm like, "Oh, aren't you going?" He confirms he is going. So I ask him if he is already going with someone. Nope. So finally I go, "Do you just not want to go with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, pretty much." That one still crushes the soul a bit. Went to a party 5 hours early, oblivious. A girl is inviting everyone to a party Friday night. I live out of town a bit and not entirely sure if I can get back in for the party, so I just hang around after school. A buddy tells me he's going early because he plays sports with the girl's brother, so I should just come early to hang out. For some reason I think early is like in an hour from that point. So I head over about 5 PM to meet up. I knock. I hear "come in." So I head in. I see the girl and her brother inside and I say, "Oh, but he said he's coming early and said I should come over." They're like, "Okay dude, come in and sit down if you really want to." I do. They are setting the table for dinner with their parents. Going to have a nice family dinner and then clean up for the party. They ask me to join them. I say yes because at this point I'm over my head. I eat with them, help with dishes, watch a little TV. Soon they are all good to go. The parents head out and the night goes forward like nothing weird happened. Next Monday I'm butt of many jokes, but people forgot about soon enough. My best friend decided to end the friendship in 9th grade. So I left an anonymous comment on one of her blog posts asking if she knew me because we had so much in common and would make great friends. I wore cat ears and a kimono to school, like, more than once. This ensemble was completed with neon fishnets, Doc Martens, and my blue Justin Bieber hair. I also wore a collar, like, a legit collar, not a choker. I was eating an awesome sandwich. It was so filling though, so I tossed it at the trash when I was done. But some random girl who probably has a very heated memory of this walked by and got smacked. I awkwardly laughed because it was unexpected. She probably thinks I did it on purpose. When I was 14 I had a crush on this girl. Her younger sister told me she had a crush on me back. which was false. So me, being the incredible naive kid I was, decided to ask her out. Only I did it from my mom's phone, by asking my youth pastor to ask her for me. To no one's shock, and my complete embarrassment, she said no. What followed was easily the most awkward few weeks of my life at school. Me and a few friends made some signs on A4 pieces of paper protesting against 9/11 and Al-Qaeda and walked around campus showing them to people. I have no idea what the duck our aim was. I don't know who we were supposed to be showing our anger to or what we were trying to prevent, being that this was in response to 9/11. We just thought we were really cool and edgy because we dared to make signs. I came on to my grade 9 geography teacher. I flirted with him constantly, pretended I didn't understand anything so I could stay behind and talk to him after class even though I was actually gifted, and eventually got shot down really hard because he wasn't a pedophile. I once dyed my hair blonde and cried all through class because he didn't comment about whether it looked good. So embarrassing. Back when sour candies were all the rage, me and my friends would see who could hold the most in their mouth for the longest time. As someone who likes a challenge, I ended up shoveling a handful of those super sour toxic waste candies into mouth. Unfortunately, what I failed to realize is that sour stuff causes a lot of saliva production. So when my crush entered the cafeteria and made eye contact with me, I smiled, and multicolored drool literally flooded out of my mouth and slathered itself all over my t-shirt. She said "you" and walked away. I died a little inside that day. Wrote real person fanfics. I was basically Tina Belcher. When I was 16, I wore a thick leather dog collar with a 6-foot chain leash. Yay. Not exactly school appropriate attire. Go to save that for the bedroom. My boyfriend and I were the cringy couple. I mean, like making out in the hallway cringy. I'd get embarrassed, but also I guess I just didn't care. Raging teen hormones. Yeah, no. Until one day a teacher came up to us and told us to knock it off. I want to die of embarrassments from just remembering it. Hey Doopatapee, weird name by the way. Are you doing anything on prom night? No? Oh. Me neither. Me and some friends are gonna go play laser tag instead. You wanna come with us? Oh. Thanks. No. Why not? Oh. UHH. I barely know you? Oh. I spent that night being depressed because nobody liked me. In retrospect, I want to punch myself in the face. I seriously only realized what she was doing years later. She was pretty hot, I remember also. Like, Jesus Christ. The duck was I thinking? We used to have a school farm. 12-year-old me used to find great amusement in chasing people with pigget on a stick. One day I chased this goony kid around the playground while everyone watched and cheered. He finally had enough, and whilst running, slapped the pig poo with the back of his hand. It flew straight off the stick and into my mouth. It just stuck there, half in, half out. Playground went silent for about 2 seconds before a huge eruption of laughter. Don't chase people with pigget, kids. Not worth it. Edit. Holy it. Thanks for the silver. Went to a Catholic high school and was in a rebellion phase. Dyed my long hair black. Cut myself. The whole 9. This angsty rebellion extended to my musical tastes too, which at that point were various flavors of metal. But of course, being the idiot that I was, I just had to let everyone know what I was listening to. Dying Fetus, Hammer Smashed Face, Goat Whore, just various band song names that were purposefully outlandish offensive. I enjoyed the music, being as young as I was, but I reveled in these vulgarities while surrounded by my Catholic classmates, until one day at lunch, this girl stops me mid-sentence while I was going on about the Cannibal Corpse concert I attended that weekend. Do you only listen to these bands because of their weird names? She saw through my bullet and cut me down. Duck you, Jackie. You're too good. We were on our senior trip in high school at Universal Studios. My friend and I were with the gang for a while, but somehow we all got separated, leaving just him and I to enjoy the park together. I was fine with that because he was my best friend, and for some reason everyone thought we had this boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. We went to see Rihanna perform later that night and we had to meet at our buses around 12. So once her show was over we decided to head back. Somehow we got lost and the rules were, if you're not at the buses by 12, you get left. My friend and I were freaking out. Everyone was freaking out. We finally found the bus and we looked like we had been having a rendezvous. My hair was wild, I was sweating. He was sweating, all because of panic. Everyone else thought we had some wild crazy. We were both gay as hell. I could never understand how no one knew that. I used to try and peacock guys that I had crushes on by doing stupid embarrassing it, like dancing awkwardly, making an utter ass out of myself to try and get their attention. Do you think those attempts ever worked? Hell friggin' no. My friends recorded one of those moments and it is an utter cringe fest. Also, I'm a terrible dancer. Was dating this girl who I thought was out of my league. Lost my virginity to her. She breaks up with me. I bawl hysterically. She calls my mom to come get me because I was unfit to drive. I just want to hit her up now and tell her that I don't want her back or anything. Happily married now, but that I wanted to express my cringe retroactively. My best friend came up to me during lunch and professed his undying love for my ex-girlfriend. He said he was going to fight me for her honor. Next thing I know, he strips his clothes and is wearing nothing but a wrestling unit. I keep screaming, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. Turns out it was a prank orchestrated by my best friend, ex-girlfriend, and another friend. Wasn't thrilled about how that day went. Sat next to a super cute guy 3 years older than me in computer class. I thought being funny while also seeming mature would appeal to an older guy. I showed him steakandcheese.com, which my brother's friends had shown me. Please don't go look. I don't know if it's still there, but it just had links of nasty kink stuff. I wouldn't even call it porn. You didn't know what you were going to get when you clicked a link. It was a sort of prank in my eyes. I thought it would be hilarious. He typed it in. Clicked. An image loads of an elderly woman shoving a bowling pin up her pussy. The guy liked me. I liked him. But we didn't talk much after that. He signed my yearbook with a message suggesting I seek mental help. We crossed paths and reconnected 7 years later. We have been married for over 6 years now and have 2 kids. I absolutely do not let him tell people that story of how we met. Edit. Thanks and gratitude to the kind stranger that gave me silver. My first. In one of my classes, if we had spare time around finals, we would do fake court scenarios. There'd be the defendant, prosecutor, etc. So anyway, my best friend at the time chose to be a lawyer to defend their client. I'm generally incredibly shy, so I wouldn't normally offer myself up, but it was my BFF. I wanted to be the lawyer for the other client. She does some funny yet talking, and as I'm getting out of my desk I exclaim, "You're going down." Except it was me going down. My foot was stuck in the desk and I fell to the floor. Everyone laughed. I died a little inside but couldn't hide. I had to get up and state my case. TBH, I kicked ass. But I still lost. To make matters worse, I still cringe to this day and it's been years later. Excuse my jargon if it's wrong. I don't know too much about lawyering and shit. Also, the time the lunch lady took my lunch away when I didn't have money. I was supposed to get free lunches. Yay. Being poor. But for some reason there was a $5 balance on my account. Didn't have the cash on hand, so they took my tray in front of everyone. I almost forgot to add my own high school cringy story on here. During my senior year of high school I was part of a choir group called Rendition. We were pretty much the a cappella group of our high school. But since we placed high in our state competitions, a lot of people knew about us. So during prom season some kid came up to us asking if we would sing for a prom proposal he had planned for this girl he really liked. This was normal for us because at least one person asked us to do this every year and we usually treated it as a gig. Anyways, the kid paid us to sing Can't Take My Eyes Off of You to this girl in front of the whole varsity choir class, to which I mind you has about 80 people in it. The time comes and we do our part at the start of class with a guy having flowers and poster in hand. At first the whole class gives a big oi, but the girl being proposed was clearly embarrassed and completely red. The girl screams at the dude saying, "Jerry, I told you a million times already. I'm not going to prom with you." To which he replies with, "I thought if I did something big like this you'd finally say yes." The rest of class continued on with the most awkward atmosphere after this. My entire adolescent academic career was one giant cringe. Things such as 1. Conveniently started learning to play the flute in school band the year American Pie came out. 2. Became obsessed with the band Evanescence and wanted to dress like Amy Lee. I wore a skirt made from strips of fabric safety pinned to a waistband, over jeans. Another skirt made of a little white eyelet bed skirt, and multiple corset tops that were basically just shirts that were too small for me, cut up, and laced in the front with ribbon. 3. Wrote terrible songs, terrible poetry, and tried to start a band called Crimson Regret. 4. Attempted to write my first erotic story at the age of 13. But since I didn't know any slang terminology at the time, it was extremely literal and very decidedly unsexy. There is nothing sexy about the word E. 5. Cried. All the time. Got picked on constantly, and instead of doing something about it, I cried. That did nothing to endear me to anyone. 6. Sang Evanescence's song Haunted for the school talent show. This did nothing to increase my popularity. 7. Carried around a copy of the script to LOTR the 2 towers that I had printed off a fan site. Sat alone at lunch, every day, reading it. Looking at a chick's thigh, then going to the restroom to rub one out. I went to go grab my backpack and accidentally grabbed the hand of the guy sitting next to me. When I was a freshman, I tripped walking up a stairwell and I face planted directly into this other guy's butt who was a few steps ahead of me. Like my face was just pressed directly into his ass for a full second. He gave me the most revolted look, as if I did it on purpose or something. Definitely a mortifying flashback. I played Magic in a back hallway with stoners when Magic was honestly not a thing. I'm talking mid-90s, like a year after it came out, and would wear Hawaiian shirts or guayabera to school, and occasionally a fedora. This was way before any of that was a neckbud thing, and I definitely didn't see myself as a nice guy. I thought all of that would be cringy. I was wrong. I'm so sorry to all of you. I was a sophomore and had been flirting with a junior girl for a while, without realizing that I was flirting. Eventually she hit me up on MySpace saying she had a secret. She proceeded to tell me she liked me. I told her I liked her too. She asked if I was serious and I said I wouldn't joke about that. What followed was me awkwardly avoiding her at school and pretty much never talking to her again. The messed up part is I did actually like her too. I just didn't know where to go from there. Still feel guilty about it whenever I think about it. When 9th grade bio. First period. Cake day. Project was to make a cake shaped as an animal or plant cell. Well, I ate my face off at 7:30 AM. 4 full cakes minimum. Fast forward. When 3rd period gym. I started getting a migraine, and when I get migraines I have a pre-tell. I get aura, which is like looking at the sun and seeing blotches. I knew I was getting sick. I should have went home. Fast forward. When 4th period algebra. The headache comes on. I ask my teacher to go to the bathroom. The cakes were sprouting. By the time I get to the door, I puke everywhere and miss the garbage. In my hands and everything. Then I swear to ducking God a fire alarm goes off. I have to walk with the teacher, only wiping with some paper towel out in front of the entire school. Yup. This is more embarrassing than cringy. Back in junior year I had a real bad UT and went to school expecting to be fine. I didn't use the restroom for a couple hours because I knew it was just gonna be a waste. 7th period comes, last class of the day, and I have an extreme urge to pee. I tell my teacher and run to the bathroom as fast as possible. Got into the stall. Stall wouldn't lock, had to go to another one, but I was 1 second too late. I started just straight peeing my pants and it got on the floor, and there was people in the stalls next to me who probably saw. I awkwardly walked to the nurse's office and explained what happened and asked if she could have someone from my class bring my bag to me. But the teacher had to be in a different room that day, so she couldn't answer the phone. Had to embarrassingly walk into class with my pants obviously soaked, and then to make it worse my teacher tried stopping me and talking to me while some guy right in front of us is just staring at my clearly soaked pee pants. Currently in high school, we had a Halloween dress up and some student brought their $300 fursuit. Wasn't a big fan. I was participating in a school prep rally, my one and only time. A lot of the clubs were doing boxcar races. Immediately when we start running, I feel my jeans start to slip. I'm wearing skinny jeans. But my parents refused to believe I was a 00, so they bought me 2 big jeans. I let go of the box to try and fix my jeans while keeping up with my group. I fall, with my pants falling down as well. They unfortunately also took my underwear with them. I mooned the whole school. The entire school, including faculty. Also, I was a freshman. I had a friend, let's call him Dave, who was a classic case you'd see on Honest Guys. He always had crushes on girls, but his crush on my best friend, let's call her Jill, lasted longer than usual. She turned him down repeatedly, but he kept trying. One day in English class, we had an assignment to write a poem and our teacher asked for volunteers to read theirs aloud. Dave enthusiastically raises his hand, stands up, and reads his poem about how he's in love with Jill, and it ends with him asking her out. Again. She walked out of the class. So much cringe.